Welcome back to the Forest Belly Button.
The Forest Navel.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw, but today Donald Trump tweeted a bunch of things about the Forest National Service, but he kept misspelling forest with 2 R's.
What a genius.
And you know, that's a spelling error that's not terribly difficult to make, because forest having 2 R's is not outside the realm of possibility, but you would expect more from a president.
You would. Is that getting cut out, or is that staying in the
No,
show?
we'll leave that one in. I don't think it's too much of a stretch. I don't think we're going out too far on a limb to say that Donald Trump is an idiot. Even if you agree with his politics for some reason, he's still an idiot.
It's a fucking dumpling.
Alright, I'm gonna need some yellow men to get some bombs out. Hey, wait, isn't this the land that's populated by a lot of fire? You're right, it is. You know I'm a yellow man, right? Yeah, I do. Come on, flammable Jimmy.
You're just as flammable as everyone else. You're all replaceable.
Why don't you ask those 50 men that died the other day? You can't, because they're dead.
If you're working at a job where your boss tells you you're replaceable, you probably don't want to work at that job anymore.
If you're working at a place where the boss throws you into a fire-breathing elephant, also probably not. God, so much fire! Go, get out of there! What are you guys doing? And he's gonna throw those guys. They're gonna get caught on fire. Come on, yeah, come on. Watch out! Don't rush into the fire, dummies. All right, good enough. Good enough. Watch out for the frog now. Watch out for the frog. I don't know.
Watch out for that frog.
I don't know how many times I've had to say that in my real life, but if I've said it before, I've said it again. Watch out for that frickin' frog. All right, so you guys got to build this log bridge.
He's frog of the jungle. Watch out for that frog.
And away he'll schlep on his fire-breathing elephant. Schlep.
Schlep?
Isn't that his name? The name of the elephant?
I don't know. I watched George of the Jungle a grand total of once.
I don't know if you remember, there was a show I used to watch that was about 2 bears that escaped from the circus. And I never saw this show on TV, but we had it on VHS. It was about 2 bears that had escaped from the circus. Their mother had died in captivity.
Wow.
Yeah, but the father and son were living in a new community in some kind of swamp.
Nope.
I don't remember anything about that show except for, like, there's a porcupine character and he was moving a log chair or something and he starts screaming, "I got a splinter! I got a splinter!" That's all I remember from that show.
Wow, yeah, I have never... Was it a show or was it a movie?
It was a show. There was episodes to that. I know because there was like a theme song. I don't remember what the theme song is.
Oh, man.
But it had a theme song.
I have no idea. Like, this is a thing about growing up in the 80s and 90s. You would end up with like these weird VHS tapes that were from like the dollar store of like cartoons that you never knew existed.
Like the Snorks.
Well, no, because that was actually on TV. But there,
yeah.
I had like cartoon shows that were like, they must have been from like the 60s or something. There were like these cartoon shows that I have vague memories of them. I don't really remember anything else about them, and it's just like, what was this even about? Why did I have this? Where did my parents find this?
Hey, I found the fin for my dolphin. Yeah,
I had like this documentary that was it was like a documentary for kids about dinosaurs.
Oh.
And there was a bunch of like claymation dinosaurs in it. And the only thing I can remember about it is just like there was a little song and there was like a part where this dinosaur's jumping up and down on a piano. And it's going yeah, it's like that's all I can remember about it. And I remember they had like these weird live action parts where there's people dressed up like someone from like the late 1800s, like finding a dinosaur skeleton. And there was something about an iguanodon in it. Yeah, I don't know. Only 90s kids will get this joke.
There was, yeah, there were a couple of shows that I remember that, like, very vaguely remember little bits and pieces of it. There was a show that we could get for VHS. Again, when you go to Blockbuster, there's all these shows. But I distinctly remember there being a couple of VHS tapes of some religious show where it's 2 kids that keep going back in time.
Oh, you're talking about Bible Adventures.
Noah? Yeah. Okay, I guess that's what its title is.
I think it was literally called, like, Bible Adventures. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, like, and believe it or not, that's an anime.
It's an anime?
That is an anime.
Like Japanese anime?
Yes, that was animated in Japan.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, and it was just dubbed over in the US.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember the Dennis the Menace cartoon?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's an anime.
Is it really though?
Yes, that was. I remember I saw it at some point when I was in my early 20s. I saw that, and I was like, "Why does this have?" It has like kind of the same, like not tropes, but it's like there's like the same animation qualities that are in it, and I just kept thinking like, this looks like it was animated in Japan, but I can't put my finger on why. And then I watched it, and it was like playing. There was some episode where they got their car towed for some reason.
All right.
And like the episode ends with like them sitting in the car, and the dad is like saying something, and it looks like they're driving it, but then they like pan back, and you see that they're being towed, and he's like relaxing in the car or something. Anyway. And I remember the end of the episode, and I was watching it, and the credits start rolling, and it's just all Japanese names for people that worked on it. And I'm like, oh my god, the Dennis the Menace cartoon show was an anime.
Are you sure it's an anime though? Maybe it's just like The Last Airbender, where it's like an anime style thing.
Nope, it was an anime.
Maybe they had a bunch of Japanese people working on it with Japanese names.
No, because I found out that was actually a really common thing for like 80s and 90s cartoon shows. They actually just outsourced a lot of the animation to Japan, and a lot of the time it would just literally be like, they would just give them the storyboards and say, here, do this, and then they would just make it, so it just looks like an anime.
So it's technically not an anime because it's not produced by Japanese companies?
I would say it's technically an anime because it is animated entirely in Japan.
You know what? I'll go with that, sure. What's your favorite anime?
Oh, God. Probably Azumanga Daioh. Just because I love slapstick humor, and that's hilarious.
There is a lot of slapstick humor in that, isn't there?
Well, it's a slapstick anime, so yeah.
What was your first anime? Can you even remember that far?
Like
your first foray into the world of anime.
The first one I remember watching was Robotech. Which Robotech was so I'm getting on a huge anime nerd tear here. This is a massive anime nerd alert.
I'm gonna do something really difficult here and try and get these guys to sprint out with this thing before they get crushed by frogs. No! Okay. Okay, I think we're gonna be good. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and my computer updated, so
your computer did something. The first anime I watched, and I'm getting on a huge anime nerd tangent here, was Robotech, which Robotech was an American. Well, it wasn't made in America, but basically they took 3 different animes.
No! I was trying to distract him. No! Okay, I lost a few of them now. Okay, things are going bad. Things are going bad.
Things are not going well.
Things are going very poorly. All right, I just lost some blue men. I'll have to go get some more. I played that poorly. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry all of my men are on fire and their deaths are interrupting your story.
Yep.
It's so rude of them.
How rude.
Rude of them.
How rude.
It's them. It's their fault. Their immolation is at fault here.
Basically, they took 3 anime that were kind of stylistically similar, that had a similar premise.
I'm sorry, what show are we talking about?
Robotech.
Okay.
They took 3 anime that were stylistically similar, that only had like 1 season, that had a similar premise of people piloting giant robots, and they just kind of mashed all 3 of them together and made it 3 different seasons.
Okay.
Because there was really only like 1 season of each of these shows.
Are you saying that they took 3 different shows and made it 1 show?
Yes, they made it 1 show, but it was 3 different seasons. So each season was a different time period, or was a different point in the timeline.
Okay, so none of the same characters return.
No, none of the same characters return, and it's a different point in the timeline. Anyway, the 3 that they...
That's actually not a terrible idea. Not a bad way of doing that, actually.
No, I don't remember what exactly the different ones were. One was Macross, and I can't remember what the other 2 were.
I guess they're original.
I think it was actually, it might have been one of the series of Gundam. I can't even remember. Anyway, so that Robotech was like the first one that I watched. I was super into it. And then I started watching Gundam Wing, and I was super into that.
I'm sorry, I want to contribute to the discussion here, but I have 1 frog and 2 elephant fire breathers guarding this. Alright, I'm gonna have to kill these guys. I have to kill at least 1 or 2 of these guys, or else I'm not gonna be able to get this part out.
Gundam Wing, where we take a bunch of 14-year-olds and make them pilot Gundams.
I thought that was Neon Genesis Evangelion.
That's also Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Come on, you guys stop burning and kill this guy already. Now we're getting... Okay, you guys are all dead.
And the whole time Hiro Yui is like,
I want to kill myself, and also Princess Relina, because she saw me.
Is that Neon Genesis Evangelion?
No, that's Gundam Wing.
I've never watched any of those. Are they good?
I mean, I like them.
Isn't Neon Genesis Evangelion like heavily criticized because it ends halfway through, or the artist didn't really care how to finish it, or something like that?
No, the way the artist was going through a lot of really, I don't want to say dark things, but he was having a lot of problems towards the end of filming, or like while he was working on it. So there's a lot of it's got a lot of just kind of like depression in it.
Oh, okay.
And also it just like it doesn't just end, but the end is like kind of, to me, was like super unsatisfying. I was like, wow, this sucks.
That's what I remember. Yeah, because I remember you saying the ending was unsatisfying.
Yeah, I didn't like the ending.
That's all right. You didn't like the ending of Metal Gear Solid 5 either, because it had no ending, right?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 doesn't really have an ending, but that's also because it was not finished.
Yeah, well, for whatever reason, yep. It just doesn't have an ending.
Because Hideo Kojima basically got fired.
Essentially, yep. So, alright, now I have cleared these guys out, I can finally bring this thing back. Yeesh. That was... Okay, good, I have enough men. Yeesh. Yeah, that's right, get to work. Get to work! Even you! Even you! I'm not in the mood for this. Get over there, you slacker. Go.
Well, he just does not want to carry that thing.
You're working, right? Okay, he's working.
He's working.
Good. Put the whip to his back.
What was the first anime you ever watched?
The first anime I ever watched could I think it was... Yeah, they're done building the bridge over here. It was Ranma 1/2. You know of that show?
Oh, yeah, I know of that show.
I remember seeing episodes of it online, and this was back when watching things online was incredibly difficult.
Yes.
So on some website, I found the first 6 episodes of that show, and I could download them and watch them on my computer, but they were the size of a postage stamp.
Oh, God.
It was so tiny, but I was able to watch them in squinting, of course, because it's so tiny, but it was an interesting concept, and I ended up really enjoying that show. And it's okay. Now, if I go back to it, it's not bad. The humor is kind of stale, but in my opinion, that's a show that draws you in with its weird premise of people being cursed to change into animals and girls and stuff like that. But the real draw, in the end, is the martial arts. There's some pretty cool martial arts parts. Some really interesting techniques, like the one guy who can weaponize his depression. That was pretty cool.
You really like that show, and Yu Yu Hakusho.
There's that one. Yeah, I really did enjoy you.
I did not think, because it's called like Spirit Detective, so I was like, oh, whatever, I don't really care. And then it's like halfway through the series, it just turns into
It's basically Dragon Ball Z, but
it just turns into Dragon Ball Z like halfway through the series.
It does have a lot of parallels. It's not quite so alien, but it is pretty cool.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Dragon Ball Z, but that's because I think pretty much anybody that watches anime has watched Dragon Ball Z.
I honestly didn't get into it as much until Dragon Ball Z Abridged became a thing.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Now I understand the Frieza saga and the Cells. What? Sundown already?
Yeah, we've been
serious?
talking about crap this whole time.
No, I was too enthralled with our discussion of anime. There's still that one that... Well, I wasn't planning on getting that one, because that one's got a lot of busy work in that one as well, but I was kind of hoping to get this one today.
Well, you at least got 2 pieces.
I guess, but I wanted to get that third one, because it's going to be difficult to get those 2 on that side, and also this one in the same day. I might have to spend 2 more days here.
Wah, wah.
Ah, well, so be it. Oh, okay, I've got bomb rocks. I gotta use these bomb rocks. Yes. The last thing we're gonna do today is use these bomb rocks to break down a couple of walls. Yes.
Break down that wall so you don't have to take a long way around.
Exactly. We'll do that right now.
No, the wall behind you.
Yes. Come on. Come on. We'll do that. Yep. Yeah, Ranma 1/2, Tenchi Muyo, and Yu Yu Hakusho were
Oh man, Tenchi Muyo was great. The thing that I thought was kind of weird about Tenchi Muyo was like every season was technically a different show.
Yeah, there was Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Universe, and Tenchi in Tokyo, which were all their own kind of separate thing. They had the same characters. And
well, because like in one of them, Ryoko is a demon, and then the next one she's a space pirate.
Yup.
And then the next one she's a space pirate demon.
Yup.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, the backstories aren't consistent, but the personalities and the characters are pretty
they
much
all
the same.
stay exactly the same. There's the same voice actor. It's just their backstory changes every season, which I actually thought was actually
It's not
which
terrible.
I thought was actually a pretty cool concept.
It's not terrible. It's I didn't realize what a harem anime was until later, but it pretty much was my first harem anime.
Yeah, it's just a harem anime.
And I wasn't really drawn in by the concept of a harem anime, but he was just a generic protagonist that had some pretty cool powers, and that's pretty much what drew me in with that one.
I just like Ryoko.
I honestly didn't really care for any of the all of the potential love interests. I think the closest one I had was the police lady, which is like
Oh god,
she was no,
Galaxy
no,
Policewoman.
I'm not talking about Mihoshi, which is like the dumb blonde. I was like, there was a green-haired one that was in 1 or 2 episodes, and she was just like a normal person. She wasn't a space pirate.
Oh,
she wasn't a space princess. She wasn't a ditz. She wasn't a demon trapped in a young girl's body. She wasn't a cat. She was just a woman doing her job, and I really respected that. I liked her the most.
I could probably scare him away.
You better hope he gets scared of flares. He's not scared of flares! He's not scared of flares!
Oh god! Oh god, no!
So how does it feel, Zach? You had the chance of leaving some raw meat, and you decided, no, I want to fight a wolf instead. Was that a good decision to make?
Oh, it was a great decision. I'll do it again any day. Of course it was a bad decision, Mike.